Hello everyone, and thank you for clicking on my video. I am Screen Scene Guru coming at you with a full movie reaction and review. This is for Resident Evil 5 Retribution. This came out in 2012, but I've just recently watched it. Let's call it for the first time on a decent format, Blu-ray. Um, so I've got a bit of notes jotted down. So without further ado, let's get into them. This is picking up right after the events of Resident Evil 4 Afterlife, with the Umbrella Corporation capturing Alice following the final battle. Uh, she hunts to stop the Umbrella Corporation, which is responsible for the global destruction of the planet. Um, they go into her having to battle through this underground facility, facing off against all sorts of mutations, because this has furthered along the lore of the games to where there are now mutated creatures, not just zombies of the undead. So we got to see some of that awesomeness. We got to see some clones of Alice living out their daily routine, their daily lives, until zombies came crashing in, which was kind of cool to see. It was a bit of a Dawn of the Dead mixed with Resident Evil in there, so that's fun. We got to see some familiar faces return, as well as some new faces. So that was awesome to see. Of course, we've got Mila Djokovic returning for her film franchise. Um, but we also got to see Jill Valentine return from. She was in the last one as well. She was in Afterlife, returning after being in the second film. Um, but yeah, it was really cool to see her. We've also got to see the return of Michelle Rodriguez. Unfortunately, she was a villain, a clone of the original from the first film that died, of course. We got to see the introduction of Ada Wong live action, which was really cool to see. It took us a long time to get her, but she looked great. We also got to see Leon on live action. So this one was a bit more video game accurate, I'd say, the most video game accurate. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Let me know down below in the comments. But moving on, we've got the Rotten Tomato score is at a 28%, which is, I'd say, fair, given that the movie wasn't all that put together. The storyline was a little bit like the first one, them trying to get out from an underground complex, right, with zombies and mutants. So very much like the first film, only with a bit of twist. They do add in the new idea of these different levels being different cities, one being Moscow, then they had New York. So really interesting to see how they built these cities underneath, I believe, Antarctica. They were in Antarctica and studying how the viruses would react to populations in well populated cities. So that was interesting to see. Um, Moving on to our last little bit about the director, I wanted to give a shout out to Paul W.S. Anderson, who has done all of the Resident Evil films with Mila Djokovic, including the 2021 uh, Resident Evil Return to Raccoon City, who's also responsible for that. Also in his repertoire, you might recognize some of his films like Event Horizon, Alien versus Predator, the Death Race franchise, and Mortal Kombat, just to give a few. So really good films that this guy's been responsible for. Um, I believe some of the last stuff he did was Resident Evil. They are currently working on a new Resident Evil. I don't believe he is attached to this new project, but I'm sure he's very excited, given that he is a hardcore fan. What are you guys' thoughts on the franchise overall? Have you guys caught up on the movies? Are you guys excited for them making a new project? What are you guys' thoughts on the games? I have not personally played any of the games myself, but my brother is a big fan. Let me know in the comments what are your favorite games. I know a lot of people probably are going to say Village, um, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. Make sure to like the video, subscribe for future content, and follow me on Instagram at SceneSceneGuru for future videos. But until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye bye.